122 pounder, 10-5, man. Watch the Goodfellas Sports TV, bro.
You guys from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Watch
Goodfellas Sports.
Goodfellas, bro.
All right, man. So, Colbert did an interview with the Last Stand podcast. Now, when I just listened to it, so I didn't watch it. You know, I got YouTube Premium, so I can hit the backlight, listen to it. Even if you got an Android, you can picture. We been had picture. You ain't even got to pay for that when you do YouTube. I was seeing they had revealed a couple months ago that they do picture on iPhone. I'm like, dude, we been had picture on with Android. They be trying to big up iPhones. It ain't shit special. Shit special about them with extra security and all that type of shit, man. You know, we got the ability to root our phones and do many things as you want. But people who don't know how to do all the stuff that Androids really can do, they it ain't really no major difference. All iPhone do is copy off Android. Yo, we got a plus. We put 2 more cameras on there. I be looking at people with it. And I never met somebody iPhone who kept their iPhone charged neither. That's the funniest shit in the world. They should always die. Like, tap y'all phones together. Don't y'all share battery life or something? Tap them. And then people say, well, we could just see your location at. Why do I want to show somebody else where my location at? Why? People love sharing too much information. But so Colbert was on there, so I'm listening to it, and I'm like, me listening to it, and I tell me if you watched it or I'm wrong. If you watched it, it seemed like they was editing his answers. Just me listening to it, it sounded like they was editing him. He said that Frank Martin didn't want to fight, and they sound like they cut him off. They edited it, and I'm pretty sure they edited it. He brought it up twice, and they edited the answer. He said that he was trying to fight Frank Martin, and they chose not to fight him, right? So he brought it up on his own. Then somebody asked a question. Custer asked him the question. He said they cut it. They cut it. So I don't know why they would cut it. And he went in on Gary Russell too. And I'll talk about that. But they cut his answer a couple times when he got to Frank Martin. So I don't know. It was told to us that Frank Martin, I don't know who said it for Frank Martin camp. It might have been Derrick James. I don't know who said it, but they said that Colbert coach said that he wasn't in shape. Right? And that's believable because he was around here lollygagging with Danny Garcia at all the different events. Don't look like he was mad that he lost. Now, he did say that, he was kind of like angry that he lost. He said he would go into a depression, talking about he a loser. He said it had nothing to do with the backlash. He said that to himself. Now, he said he lost to Hector Luis Garcia because, he said he lost fair and square, but he said he wasn't 100%. I'll leave it at that. He said that, he couldn't breathe and all this other stuff. Said he overtrained, and I think he said PBC asked him to reschedule, and he thought Hector Luis Garcia was a walkover. Now, he said that he don't never look over no opponent, but if you ain't 100%, you feel like you can go in there and beat him. You know what I'm saying? You thought you was going to go in there and walk over dog. That's what he really thought he was going to do. But he pretty much said that Frank Martin ain't want to fight, that they chose to go somewhere else. Now, they cut him off where he fully couldn't explain himself. Because that's just listening to it, I could tell when it's edited. But they cut him off where he really couldn't explain himself. But maybe Frank Martin wanted to get a fight in before December. He wasn't ready in December. And maybe they was talking about doing him and Frank Martin on the undercard of Benavidez and Caleb Plant. So, and maybe Frank Martin didn't want to wait a few months to go get paid. So I don't blame him. So, Frank Martin don't seem like a rah-rah type of guy. But he said Frank Martin and them, they ain't want to fight. They wanted to go with the Michelle Rivera guy. So I don't think they wanted to wait on him. And they could be, what I heard from Frank Martin's side, we can be somewhere in the middle where they wasn't willing to wait for Colbert to get in shape. and Colbert wasn't in shape enough to December. They wanted to get a fight in before the end of the year. They didn't want to wait to March. And my thing about it is they should have, if that's the case, and that no inside information, just me assuming, they should let Frank Martin come back in March then and fight Colbert. Why not? If he really wanted to fight Frank Martin, I don't care how active Frank Martin was, it wasn't. They should have let Frank Martin, come back in March and fight him on that card. But then again, they got to keep Jose Venezuela busy, and they could have threw him on any old card. They could have put him on a card in Minnesota. And Jose Venezuela Rayo is coming off a knockout loss. And he said he gonna make this look easy. So I don't know, man. The person who lose this career probably more likely over with. And one thing I ain't like about Rayo is how Benavidez' daddy kind of threw him under the bus. But that's who trained him. But Jose Benavidez Sr., he know how to press the buttons of his fighters. Then I don't. But you got a kid that lost. A lot of times you got guys that try to sympathize with him. Maybe being hard on him is to let him know. But a lot of Hispanics don't like to fight the style that Colbert got. But the thing about it is he can't punch. And they figure, guess what? We come back, got a good paying fight on a good card. Y'all can be in the camp with Benavidez. We all can be the camp together. We fighting the same night. The pops will be there. You know what I'm saying? He's still going to train me. We under the same banner, right? And I got an opponent in here who can move, but I see he can't punch. So guess what? I get to come back off a knockout versus a guy who feather-fisted. Matter of fact, a guy who coming off a loss, feather-fisted it, and I'm just talking about how Rayo thinking. And moving up 5 pounds in weight, even though he's tinkered between 30 and 35, I like my chances. I think I can catch him. I see that he couldn't even take Hector Luis Garcia punch. So it's going to be up to Colbert to prove. That's one thing why you don't say, oh, you had excuses or nothing like that. Just let the proof be in the pudding. That's all you can do is let the proof be in the pudding. And if you let the proof be in the pudding, and you prove it. You prove it. And you prove it by going out there showing a whole different type of Colbert, versus Rayo. That's how you can prove it. Go on and show that it's a different Colbert versus Rayo. That's how you can prove it. Just show physically you different. Dog, it's like 40 degrees and this dude got shorts on at the building across the street. Like, come on now. You know what color he is too. And it's a lady walking and she got a whole she bundled up like a mug. Shit wild. But yeah, so I don't know. So according to him, he said Frank Martin ain't want to fight. And he said he ain't never turned down no opponent. Now that's he saying that. But it don't mean somebody on his behalf ain't turned down no opponent neither. So something to chew on for a minute. But then he went in on Gary Russell. I end with that. He said that Gary Russell don't want to fight nobody. He said that they had called him about fighting Gary Russell. He said he'd do it. And he said Gary Russell was out there asking for Mayweather-like money or some stuff like that. Like he said that he understand that, he got to take what he could get and he got to work his way up. But he said Gary Russell was looking for the type of money to retire off of. He said he looking for one big payday to get up out of there. So he said that this dude was looking for, I think his quote was, he was looking for Mayweather type of money. I think that was his quote, that he was looking for Mayweather type of money. So, if that's the case, hey, Leo said the same thing. And now somebody told me from behind the scenes who did a lot of their contracts over at PBC. He said, don't get me started on Gary Russell. I forget while we was talking about him. It might have been the Leo thing. The last time we really spoke on Leo. He said the dude be asking for trying to get welterweight money. He be pricing himself out. So this ain't come from Leo. This ain't come from Colbert. This came from somebody placed different. They said that this dude be looking for welterweight type of money, that he don't want to fight nobody. Now, this is what they saying. Leo said it, Colbert said it, and the dude behind the scenes said the same thing, that he looking for that retirement type of money, so that welterweight type of money. So shit, it is what it is, I think he fought in, down there at in the MGM and the DMV or down there in Maryland or whatever. And Al Heyman, they said part of his purse, I think it was versus Joseph Diaz, he got to keep the whole gate. He got to keep the whole gate. I think it was a double feature on that night too. I could be wrong with Showtime, but they said he got to keep the whole gate. So he got a purse and got to keep the gate. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. But that's up to them. But, that's what he said. He said, he all talk. He said, that they went up to the, they got into it at the Barclays Center. Custer brought it up. And he said that he just didn't want to fight. And everybody keeps saying the same thing. So if everybody's saying the same thing, some gotta be true. The dude just want to price himself out. Josh Warrington said the same thing. The dude was looking for, he was looking for, big money. And they couldn't pay him. So you don't want to fight champions. You just looking for, he's a mercenary. Just like most PBC fighters over there, Al Heyman spoiled them. And rather than, go get belts and build their resume and build their portfolio up, they just wanted nickel and dime versus easy opponents until they trip into a big fight. So it is what it is. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the Box News playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if it's dead already. Hit the link tree, find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. We everywhere. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.